Greetings and welcome back to Switch to Linux. I hope everybody is having a wonderful week, getting ready for a wonderful weekend. We are still working on the studio setup. Hopefully it's a little bit better now. Move the camera back just a little bit, get a little bit more in. Now, one person left a comment on my three creeps up there. That's, of course, Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab, whatever his name is at the World Economic Forum. And, and I remember the third one, and George Soros. And he's like, I can't stand that picture of those creepy guys back there. I'm like, they're back there to remind you that evil psychopaths are always looking over your shoulder. Okay. And that is one of the points of this channel, is to teach you to have them less looking over your shoulder. And so yeah, although two of them have sort of passed their empires onto their children, so I may need to change the picture. I'm not going to get rid of it, but they're evil, and that's the point. They're up there because they're evil, and we have conspiracy theories about them, and I want you to order unicorn meat. I mean, come on, man. This is an eclectic set for that reason. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. I think we're in line to get started today. I think I have the sound issues figured out. So let me know if we don't. Although if I do this, it may not be as good. Who knows? All right. Is the Align also a reminder of Evil 2? Align? What's the Align? The Alien, I think you mean? Yeah. The Alien also a reminder of Evil? No, the Alien is a reminder of my home planet. I am still a reptilian alien, although that is a gray, but oh well. We'll do that. We do have a couple of topics today, and we'll be chatting about some of those topics here as we move on through the day. But if you do want to help support the channel, have a look at the website switchlinux.com/support, and that'll take you to the various ways. And I still do completely resist sponsorships. I even had a company I like reach out and it's like, hey, I'm like, I didn't add them to my blacklist. I usually block those evil companies. Usually they're like, we love your content, we follow you, it's amazing, you're so much stuff, would you like to promote our AI stuff? It's like, if you like my content, number one, I don't do sponsorships, and number two, I don't like AI, so I'm not exactly going to be doing that. And clearly you don't watch my stuff, so you get to add to my blacklist. So I have a massive list of all sorts of people that have tried to email me to sponsor the channel, and I don't do sponsorships. I will do affiliates. And I actually did save one that was an affiliate offer. But I'd have to investigate them. But anyway, I do have some affiliates I use. Amazon's probably the biggest one. Most of them I haven't seen actual revenue from them for a while, and I actually think it's tied to Honey. I literally think Honey stole a bunch of money from me. But anyway, you can support directly over on Patreon, Locals, or Subscribestar, and Honey can keep their dirty little mitts off of that. You can help support the channel over there. And with that, though, we are going to dive on into the show. We have two main topics. We're going to be asking this fun question: is Meta evil? Of course, if you're watching this channel and you've been watching my channel for a while, you already know what my answer to that question is going to be. So that is, some things are predictable, of course. And so we're going to talk that, and then we're also going to talk about AI has gotten to the point where most people can't even tell what's real anymore, and that is actually going to be a problem. So and then we only have a couple of quick lines, and then we will get to comments, and then we will feed a beast, and then we will get to a few more comments. And by the way, I did not get last week's show up on podcast yet. It was on my list of things to do today, but hey, the day is still young for me anyway, so I will try and get that up tonight. And who knows, maybe I'll try and get this one up tomorrow. 2 podcasts in a row. Although don't hold your breath on that one, but we'll see. Welcome back to the weekly news roundup, and we're going to ask this question: is Meta evil? I mean, we've always kind of had this idea, but they just did another fun thing, and then they're called out by Wired, and then they backtrack like, well, we were just doing something to see if we do. You do not test You do not test what you're doing by deploying it out to 500 million apps on an automatic update. Okay, that's not pondering, but we just haven't made a final decision. No. Y'all were caught. Y'all were skinny dipping. The tide came in, and we know who was skinny dipping. All right, but of course, to start this off, I want to go back over a decade ago. In fact, this is almost 15 years ago when Facebook decided that without any form of human review board oversight or getting any compliance or any permission, which is absolutely required in academic studies, they actually did an academic study in conjunction with Cornell University, which was a human study, a human psychological study, where they would actually go in and put certain users always got a more negative timeline and other users got a more positive timeline. And they were basically assessing moods and information. Of course, this never went through a human review committee. This never happened to get any consent of anybody involved. Nobody was aware they were involved in an experiment. Facebook just said, hey, we have this massive list of people. We want to test out algorithms. Let's just go ahead and see if we can get half of them to engage in self-deletory things by showing them depressing stuff all day long. And this isn't some conspiracy theory. There's actually a published article about this. This is Informed Consent in the Facebook Emotional Manipulation Study. In my opinion, Mark Zuckerberg, every other CEO who had any knowledge of this should absolutely be spending 20 years in prison for engaging in psychological experiments with teenagers without knowledge or permission or consent. And in a sane world where this isn't Mark Zuckerberg with all his DARPA backlog, he would be. No, he still just keeps on going on with his creepy jacket with like the eye of Sauron or something on the back. Have you ever seen that? That's kind of neat. But there was actually entire research articles looking at their research article. Also, every researcher at Cornell should have been terminated. The entire program at Cornell should have had serious sanctions. This should have been serious news, but it never really was because it was Facebook, and we just didn't know how much this worked. Of course, they always build shadow profiles on us as well. Of course, the shadow profiles, no, I'm not interested in giving you my crap. Just like multiple pop-ups. I know, granted, the first one was a stupid cookie consent. But of course, Facebook still uses shadow profiles. So if you're a guy like me who does not use Facebook, of course, I did a long time ago, and then I got rid of it because I recognized that it was indeed evil, and I got rid of it, and I don't want anything to do with Facebook, to the point where the only way you can prevent Facebook from following you around the internet is to do blocking on your end. Now, if you're just on web browsers most of the day, you can install something like Privacy Badger, which is by the EFF, and that's a really good application that will actually block those Facebook trackers. But the Facebook megapixels going around the internet, they collect information about you, is what you're doing. The other way is, and this is what I think we need laws against, and that is, we have phones, and you know somebody, you put their name in your phone. Well, if those people who put your name in your phone have Facebook will just pester you, if it works at all, until you decide to share your contacts. Well, I did not consent to Facebook having any information about my contact, but a whole bunch of people who would all have my name in their contact list on their phone and all using Facebook. Oh yes, Facebook, you can share my contacts. And now 13 different people have given my name and my phone number to Facebook. Now they get to engage in the digital, probably AI-powered stuff, where they get to go around the internet now and figure out exactly who this mysterious Switch to Linux weirdo is. And they're like, we just can't find anything about him, man. He's too good at blocking us. But it's this funny thing. I actually have server-level stuff on my entire network. Anything on my network becomes invisible to Facebook. Outside of one application, I have to punch a hole in my firewall for one of my clients. I need to do a lot of stuff for Facebook over there, which is fine. I have a controlled way to do it. But did you guys actually know there is a way you can go into Facebook and delete your shadow profile? Yeah, it requires, of course, going over to Facebook and then giving them your information. So I don't know. Hey, Facebook, don't track me. Here's all my information. You trusted me. Yes, this is a company so evil. They set up their own road. Like, they go in, they build a compound, what used to be an empty lot. And what is the name they intentionally chose for their company? One hacker away. Okay, so you're giving information to a hacker. Okay. But yeah, this article here, which is actually, I thought this might be old. This is actually only February. So this is a fairly new article here on what they're doing. You may have managed to go all this time without ever making a social media account. Facebook could still have your information even if you've never set up an account. So they still have your email address, cell phones, or landline number. The reason is there are these hidden accounts called shadow profiles. But profiles created based on data gathered from various sources, such as contacts uploaded by Facebook users, websites with Facebook tracking pixels, and other third-party data providers. So even if people you're friends with share their own contact information on Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, and were in their address book, Meta, the parent company of these evil applications, likely has your information. Meta may also have your contact information. It was collected through various business tools. And so then, of course, how does Facebook use the data? For hacker things, of course. Providing our services to these sites or apps. You don't need my information for that. Improving safety and security on Facebook. I'm sorry, they are not doing this. That client that I mentioned, one of my jobs is to go through and the messages that the company gets and parse out what is a scam and what is not. And those that are not scams, I direct them to the various people they need to contact with. But hands down, in fact, just this last week, within one day, I received the same exact email from multiple different separate profiles, all with the same name, all with the same logo, copy-paste script, and I've been dealing with for 5 years. Facebook, you are not using this information to protect anybody. But we are going to get into what they're actually doing and that they know about this. We're going to get into this in one of the articles because it is certainly one of those things that makes Facebook one of these ones on this. Yeah, I think you're evil list. And of course, enhancing our own products and services. Screw your privacy and security. We're enhancing our services here. Why? Money! Money! It's the root of all evil. Actually, the love of money is the root of all evil, by the way. Not love, not money itself. Even so, shadow profiles have been a subject of controversy and criticism due to privacy concerns. You think? A company I choose not to do business with is following me around the internet like a crazy stalker? Oh boy. So how do you move your information? If you're currently not or never have been a Facebook user, here's what you can do. All right, so you got to go to the Meta's help page. There's information for people who do not use Meta products. Go to the heading that says how non-users can exercise their rights. Okay. There will be a link that says click here, which will take you to a web page where you can ask Meta to remove your contact information. Of course, you just need to give them a mobile number, a landline, an email address, and hit next. Enter your phone number and or your email address. Get a confirmation code. Select the platform you want to be removed from and click next. And of course, that'll probably be a one-time thing. And the next time it goes, somebody else opens up their Facebook app and goes, hey, would you like to share your contacts? Yes, I would like to share my contacts. And boom, they got it again. It's like, you got to do this like every day. It's part of your morning routine. Got to do the 3 S's, then delete yourself from Facebook every morning. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of crazy. But this kind of gets a little bit interesting because what they did more recently, obviously facial recognition has really been in the news with this company because of their Ray-Ban Meta glasses, Meta smart glasses, right? Facial recognition code raises new concerns. So the challenge here, we'll cover in this article kind of the basics here around the controversy, and then the next article actually gets into what they actually did, which is neat. And so technology could be misused by stalkers, abusers, or others who want to identify people in public without drawing attention. Now, Business Reform did a video looking at how you could block people from taking your photos or more or less listening to your phone conversations. Literally, he's talking about testing those different devices like on V for Vendetta, right? You know, you go in and the chief inspector puts up that little thing that scrambles it so the guys going around the surveillance vans can't listen on your private conversations. conversation. So he does it. Actually, V did it at one point in time when he's talking to the inspector under the guise of being that one dude, Underhill, I think. And so now literally we are in a world that because of Facebook, among other companies, we now, if we want to have a private conversation, we're going to pull out this scrambler, put it on the table and turn it on. So some crazy psycho 4 booths down can't listen in and record your conversation with their smart glasses. We are in this world, folks. We have reached 1984, which is what V for Vendetta was heavily based on. And so Pennsylvania, woohoo, my Pennsylvania state here, has the bill that would require smart glasses and similar wearable recording devices to include a visual indicator light, and the bill also would make it illegal to disable that. Now, I don't think the bill goes far enough. Burn it with fire. Ban these things altogether, Pennsylvania. Just ban them all together, please. Or give us complete impunity if we see some psychotic moron over there staring at us with blinking Ray-Bans. Give us pure immunity if we go over and knock him in the face. Whack! No! Obviously, I do not advocate for any form of that, but it is... you have no expectation of privacy in a public space. Yeah, but that doesn't mean I want a psychopath walking around with smart glasses recording and seeing everything I do. You know, maybe you shouldn't have the expectation of not being, you know, if you're recording people in public. There's a thought. Okay. 2 stories are really share a similar issue. Smart glasses are normalizing the use of always-on cameras, microphones, and AI features in the form that is much easier to conceal than a phone. That creates an unwanted privacy problem for people around the wearer. From our point of view, smart glasses sit at the intersection of consumer privacy and surveillance tech and potential for abuse. And I'm seeing something going on with the... Okay, something's going on with YouTube. Are we still on YouTube? Let me hold on for a second here. Did we have any jump on YouTube? YouTube's sitting over here like, we're not getting enough bandwidth. I don't know why. I do not have any drop frames at all through OBS. Maybe YouTube's just up to their crazy stuff again. Are we good on every other platform? All right, we're just going to go on. So from our point of view, smart glasses sit at the intersection of consumer privacy, surveillance tech, and potential for abuse. And that is really true. This is neat here. If facial recognition features ever become common in smart glasses, much of their effectiveness will depend on how much information you readily have available about you online. This is why I have been beating the drum for years. Privacy is not about the one point in time. It's not about just right now what's going on. What it has to do with more often than anything else is it has to do with the constant spread of your information through the constant use of phone applications, other digital services, and other things that are feeding data networks. That is what allows this stuff to work. And so if you've been following in the footsteps of things we've been talking about for a while, you're going to not have as many problems, you know. But if you've been constantly over here just doing all of these different things, well, then, you know, whatever they're doing. Now, here's why I kind of wanted to talk about this. They did this week. One day after discovery, Meta pulls the facial recognition code from its smart glasses. So they quietly embedded an unreleased facial recognition system into the app. Now, it says on more than 50 million phones. This is the app that is on phones that allows you to control and basically interfaces with the with your smart glasses. Okay, that's what's going on here. So the app that controls the smart glasses spew out some code on a system called name tag. So the most recent version of Meta AI, the companion app for the line of smart glasses, strips out the unactivated software components that powered the system Meta internally called name tag. The feature is purely exploratory. They added no final decisions have been made on what to do. Yeah, which is why you pushed out the code. And so Wired reported that Meta had quietly integrated substantial portions of faces captured by glasses into unique biometric signatures, comparing them against a database of footprints. Face prints, environment when privacy and civil liberty advocates would be distracted. This is the sign of pure evil, folks. Okay, yes, we're going to get this thing ready, and as soon as everyone's not looking at us because they're looking at some terrible thing going on in the world, we're going to release it. Hey, maybe they released it because of that Carmelo Anthony thing this week, you know? They were intending on starting a bunch more race riots this weekend, but it backfired. So maybe that's what they silently rolled it out. Oh, crap! The race riots didn't happen! Pull it back! Pull it back! The meeting's like, hey, let's get this seriously dystopian thing that nobody's going to like, and we'll just roll it out during turmoil so nobody sees what we're doing. That is a sign of an evil company. All right. Stone dismissed the findings, writing the company couldn't answer questions about how the system would work because the feature doesn't exist. There's nothing to see here. It doesn't exist. Bosworth, Meta's chief technology officer, called the reporting incredibly misleading and absolutely dishonest. It is incredibly misleading that you told everybody what we were up to. We wanted race riots! Oh boy, whether the data would ever be sent back to Meta servers is questionable. That's one of the questions asked. Hey, is this data going back to Meta servers? No comment. How long will you retain data? No comment. What about unrecognized people? No comment. Partnerships with Flock? No comment. You know, no, they did not ask about partnerships with Flock. I wish they had, but gone is the face recognition software itself, along with the code that ran the name tag recognition process and the person recognized alert the app would have shown if someone was identified. This also means that these glasses do have facial recognition in them. They just don't have the drivers, which is on the app. Interesting. And so Crockford, Director in Technology of Liberty Program of the ACLU of Massachusetts, says removal did not undo the original decision to ship the code and pointed to it as evidence that consumer privacy needs stronger legal protections than Congress has been willing to provide. I will agree with that. So state lawmakers need to do their job and step up to protect consumer privacy. Meta's sneaky tactics slipping the face recognition code into the smart glasses show exactly why data privacy bills need teeth for stronger enforcement. Companies like Meta prioritize their bottom line, so lawmakers need to speak the only language the C-suite understands. I agree with that. So that was not the only crazy evil thing that we see Facebook doing. It also turns out that the scammers' majority are on Meta, and I already talked about that client of mine that, you know, we go in there and have to deal with Meta scams over there constantly. So this is a report out of the UK. A report out of the UK revealed that Meta's platform accounts for over 2/3 of fraud reports made by its customers. This is Lloyd Bank. 68% of fraud reports from its customers start on a Meta-owned platform. Lloyd said customers reported losing an estimated £66 million a year after falling victim to scam ads on Meta platforms, up from $27 million in 2023. That's like a threefold increase. Okay. The victim demographic isn't who you'd guess. Lloyd says the customers in their late 20s and early 30s, supposed digital natives, are reporting the scams at a highest rate. And I'll tell you why that is. Number one, this age group, which is younger than me, this age group, number one, is they are more accustomed to advertising and more susceptible to it. Okay, me, I get something builds in me in rage when I see ads. Like, you can't market to me. You can't do it. But that's one of them. Advertising is part of their culture. And I have a friend in this age group that he doesn't run an ad blocker in his browser. I'm like, how do you do that? Well, you know, I want to help support the sites. I get that, but that's crazy. Okay. Patreon. There you go. switchedtolinux.com, you know. Oh boy. The other reason is that because this generation was raised on technology, this is the generation they had Google accounts and Microsoft accounts when they went into schools. They had these accounts when they first set up. Because of that, they are accustomed to answering every question that pops up on the screen. This is why these people are more accustomed to answering quizzes on social media, handing their data to Cambridge Analytica and Facebook. Go figure. So yeah, it is the younger generation that appears to be more susceptible to the financial scams. So Meta says it's doing plenty. A Meta spokesperson lied by saying that they removed 159 million scam ads last year alone. 92% of we took down before anyone ever reported them. That's what they said. However, internal documents estimate roughly 10% of the company's advertising revenue came from scam ads and ads for banned, illicit, low-quality goods and services. So documents also estimate that users were shown around 15 billion high-risk scam ads every single day. So we should do something about that, right? Right? Cue that Star Wars meme, right? We should do something about that, right? Yeah. Internal documents said that the company earned as much as $7 billion a year from high-risk scam ads. The county also alleges that Meta built guardrails to prevent anti-scam measures from reducing the advertising revenue too much. Yes, internal documents. Not only do the internal documents say, hey, let's roll out controversial privacy stuff when there's political disruption going on so people don't see what we're doing. They also say, hey, how can we maximize our profits pushing scam ads while still making it look like we might be doing something about it? These people are just evil. The love of money has rotted their hearts so badly. In fact, in the words of the book of James, the silver and gold has rotted and the has rusted, and it will become a witness against your flesh. I mean, come on, guys. Federal judge in California refused to dismiss key claims in two different cases against Meta that the lawsuits brought by fraud victims allege scammers used Meta's advertising and AI tools to create and optimize fraudulent ads. These scammers are using Meta's tools. They're suing Facebook's like, hey, we can't be held liable for the scams, and the judge is going to let them go ahead and go to trial. That's nice. The plaintiff argued that Meta made a platform that is a genuine co-conspirator in the creation of the offending content. And of course, Meta denies any wrongdoing. You know, they just have these back-end deals about how do we keep the scam ads going because we make money off of them. Gold and silver is turned to rust, and the rust will be a witness against you. So yeah, there is my general take. Meta's doing a lot of things right now that an evil company tends to be doing. So let me know your thoughts about all that. Do you still use Facebook? How do you protect yourself from the crazy wiles that it's doing? And could you even consider getting off of it? I realize some people are forced to be there. Some people choose to be there even though it's dangerous. And as long as you're aware of the dangers, I would say you're in a lot better shape than some other people. So let me know your thoughts about all that in the comments down below. All right. Yeah, YouTube is still over here. Just it keeps on giving me constant pop-up errors saying don't have enough data. So I have no earthly idea what is going on with YouTube. But if you guys say it's good, yeah, okay, I go to the stream health and says, hey, everything's excellent. It's just giving me constant pop-ups, which are really distracting. Like over this peripheral of my eye, I'm seeing all these flashing things. That usually means something is not working right. So, all right, I guess YouTube's feedback systems are just gone mad. All right. Let's jump on over to our next video topic. Welcome back to the weekly news roundup, and today we're talking about the AI bubble is upon us to the point where most people don't even know what is real anymore. I mean, this is like really truly living in the Matrix time. I'd be expecting, Morpheus to show up and hand you a couple pills. Which one do you want? The red pill or the blue pill? No, don't take both of them. Don't take both of them. Dude, don't do that. All right. But one of them, you kind of wake up and you go on back down into, into the dreamland. And one of them, you're like, whoa, whole world is here. And the challenge we have right now is we live in this purely online world. Even our attempts to get offline sometimes get driven by being forced back to go online in some instances. Like you can't even reserve something at a national park anymore without having this stupid app, which is particularly annoying. That's not entirely true. You can do it on the computer as well. But like there were days when you'd go into the place and you'd go into the kiosk, you'd park your vehicle, you walk up to the kiosk, you'd fill the thing out, throw a check in there. It'd take like weeks to get cash, but you'd do that, you'd pay for it, and everything would be good. But now it's like everything's got to be reserved through recreation.gov. The only saving grace about recreation.gov, by the way, it does not require Google Play services. You can run that on a de-Googled phone. Bonus. So they actually did a good job on the app. I have to say, they did a decent job on the app. But you can't even go out and touch the federal property anymore without that. So the challenge is we have this type of world going on. AI is now creeping in, and it's becoming harder and harder to tell what is real and what is not, to the point where now it's, video is getting so convincing to deep fake that it becomes very difficult to know exactly what we need to do for getting all that video done right. I mean, it's hard. It's hard in our world. So Malwarebytes did a report. They did this report. They published it just this month. And face value, how AI is reshaping trust, identity, and scams. And so a counterfeit world is coming online. I say it's already here. And so dead internet theory, nearly everything is AI based now. Everything's bots. Everything's AI now. It's getting to the point now that you can't even get out and even do a decent job without AI cramming itself down your throat. So they looked at a number of different breakdowns. 9 in 10 cannot tell what is real from AI anymore. So we're living in a world that you watch a video, you have a hard time determining, is this AI or is this not? 88% says it's becoming harder to tell what content is genuinely real. 85% said it can be hard to tell scams apart from the real thing. This is a particular interesting one because nearly everything, even government services now want you to do everything online and everything through these services. And then they're like, call in to the center and talk to the AI and all this kind of stuff. Yet every guide about, even the government guides about how to protect yourself from AI scams, talk to the real person. I can't find the real person. Okay, that's a problem. So 84% say convincing video evidence no longer feels like proof. So, apparently I had referenced in a previous segment the case out of Texas and Carmelo Anthony case, and the video of the situation that happened from a security surveillance on the other end of the field. They never released it to the public. Even to this day, I don't think it's been released yet. But they kept on saying that it's not useful. It doesn't tell a story. And the few people that they let to watch reported on it basically gaslit the world to say, it's useless video. It turns out, though, that if you actually followed the trial and the testimony, that video evidence was brought up everywhere. Apparently, it was deeply significant in what actually happened. So we're now living in a world where you can't even point to video evidence in a major trial anymore. In fact, one of the short stories I wrote, I can't remember. Yes, it is the one in Code Red. If you get my book, Code Red, tlm.li/Code Red, it is a collection of short stories, science fiction short stories. One of those stories is a court trial which hinges on video evidence, which is manipulated by AI. And so I called it again. Because it's becoming so convincing that it's one thing, when it's, I've always, talk about AI slop and the kitten and the robot, obviously, the cat and the robot's an AI video, you watch it humorously, but it's, it's AI. You shouldn't do that. That encourages data centers. It enriches all these big tech companies. But even more dangerous are the deep faked videos, which create real life type scenarios to push any form of agenda, whether it's a political agenda, a social agenda, whatever else. And we have to be careful about that video no longer becomes the case. So in a world where everything is online and everybody is online, and now videos can just be created to push whatever narrative you want. How do we possibly trust anything that is on the internet? And that is a good question. So looking at these different things, I can't tell anymore. The curve is swelling. In 2025, only 66% says scams are hard to spot. 2026, 85% say or same thing. So chapter 2 is the AI scam revolution. 50% have encountered an AI-driven scam. I mean, what do you mean by encountered? You mean falling for it? Or do you mean like seen one? Because I mean, I see about 30 of them a day. Look at my inbox. It's all a bunch of AI scams. So how do they arrive? Personalized scam message. How do they get all this personalized information? Has so much information about you. Data brokers. We have to ban the data brokers. Data brokers are feeding the data into the AI systems that make scams more compelling. We must ban data brokers. 22% people say they've been misled by AI generated photos or product reviews. Amazon, we talked about it a couple weeks ago, maybe last week. Amazon is now starting to just do AI images of things you're searching for. Like, why? 19% said they had their identity manipulated by AI in the last 12 months. So AI is manipulating you there. And 16%, that is higher than I thought it would be. 16% received a voice cloned call from someone they knew. That is a frightening number. Like, we've reported on those voice call scams. I had no idea it's that high at 16%. That's insane. It's to the point where it's like, if you hear the voicemail, the voice calling you on through like Facebook or Discord or something, it's not me because I'm not on this crap. Exposure is highest among Gen Z, 67%, and then it kind of goes down from there. 1 in 3 Gen Z is the most exposed. 1 in 3 Gen Z adults have experienced AI-fueled identity abuse in the past year. We talked about these in reports with AI generated deep fake illegal content that literally the stuff is fake. It's just made up, but it's so convincing. They're texting people because, the data brokers gave them their information, and they're using this to simply extort people. That happens. So the shape of identity harm, 19% of all adults have experienced one of these below, 11% being impersonated online. 10% had images and videos manipulated by AI without permission. 10% had someone threaten to release AI-generated explicit content, and 10% had AI-generated explicit content without permission. Chapter 3 is pulling back, not gearing up. 65% are stepping outside. Okay, there you go. As trust erodes due to AI threats, more than 3 in 5 are reacting by retreating, using social media less, removing old content, and posting less about themselves and their children. This is a good thing. This is a good reaction, a good kickback. We should not be, particularly kids, keep your kids off the internet. Like, and in this context, I'm meaning, don't be that parent taking pictures of your kids and putting those pictures on the internet. Don't do that. That certainly is a problem. Also, yes, take steps to keep your kids off the internet. I had somebody respond to comment, it's just not practical to do that these days. It is, actually. It is. And we have to do that. We have to teach them how to be safe online, and that's the case. So why reasons are people sharing less online? They're worried about deep fakes and manipulations. I haven't considered, should we go to like a faceless type channel? And my supporters by and large said no. I'm on the internet. Oh, Lord help me. Concerned content can be used for scams and impersonations, want more in-person connection, and worried about scams and fraud generally. So a lot of people are concerned. Fear doesn't translate to action. 81% are worried about having their family's likeness stolen, but only 18% have created a code word. 67% are worried about having their voice cloned, but only 19% have turned off voicemail recordings. And I'd say, having a YouTube channel is a problematic thing. Maybe I should start using a voice simulator or do something crazy with my voice. Maybe I should just do that. Yes, I will start messing up the AI now. All right. 77% worry about harm to their reputation, but only 18% have done any data removal requests. 74% are worried their photos are being misused. However, 14% have watermarked their photos. So there's a lot of challenges. 69% would pay more to talk to a human, which means now that you're going to have to start paying more money to already egregiously charging companies for the privilege of talking to a real person. And that's a problem. Let's see. Chapter 4, AI is redefining our moral standards. 1 in 3 daily AI users say it's okay to generate non-consensual. Which is certainly a problem, of course. And that's, Thoreau was right about this technology. It gives us an improved means to reach our deteriorating ends, and we have to recognize that. What people now think is okay: 17% creating non-consensual explicit images for personal use, 17% being in a romantic relationship with an AI chatbot, wonderful, 18% creating explicit images of people they don't know, and 32% imitating somebody's voice and or appearance for personal use. So basically creating AI videos of people they know for personal use. And then, of course, the various tools. They fear experiencing deepfakes, yet it's okay to use AI to deepfake, basically. It's just another tool, man. And so AI itself is getting us to the point where we don't know what is real and what is fake anymore. And that is a serious problem because at the same time, Malwarebytes also reports this week, Americans lost nearly $900 million to AI-powered scams, according to the FBI. So the losses, which stem from 22,364 AI-related complaints, these figures represent only the reported losses, which may well be the tip of the iceberg. The main drivers behind the rise in AI-powered scams are voice cloning, deepfake images and video, and AI-generated scripts. All right. So one of their biggest concerns is government impersonation scams, which have evolved from crude IRS gift card phone calls into sophisticated multi-channel operations combining spoofed caller ID, stolen agency logos, and AI-generated audio and video of public officials. Not to mention that one case almost 2 decades ago now, where the IRS scammer, because of data brokers, by the way, knew the actual address of the person, and they actually swatted the people they were trying to scam. You can look that one up. It happened to like Denver or Colorado Springs or something. It was like 15, 20 years ago. Kind of impressive case. But scams are massively increasing, and this is causing a serious problem with us, that the scamming is getting better by AI, yet other parts of our society are not necessarily getting better because of AI, because it still hallucinates too much. Use it in medicine or in law or in, serious strategic portions of business. You can use it in marketing and SEO. In fact, it's overused in marketing and SEO, in fact. But the one enterprise which has been greatly bolstered by AI has been fraud. And that's a problem. And I think maybe the tech CEOs that are getting massively rich off this stuff, maybe they should have a fraud tax to them. Not that I'm a huge fan of adding more taxes. I'm really not. But if their tools keep on being added, same thing with Facebook. If their tools keep on being utilized, maybe it's about time that they have to start paying. If Meta's systems were used in a scam, guess what? Meta gets to make it right to the person who was scammed. And if Meta would like that money back, Meta can go after the scammer. They got the resources. They're crazy evil psychos. They know who they are. They probably have a team of hitmen back there. I mean, I don't know. But if Sam Altman's ChatGPT is utilized to do a massive phishing campaign that results in $7 billion in losses, I think OpenAI needs to pay $7 billion to the people who were scammed. And if OpenAI would like their money back, maybe OpenAI can go after the scammers who use their platform. This isn't too unreasonable, is it? It's not too unlogical, is it? Let me know your thoughts about all that in the comments down below. All right. Let's jump in on a few comments, and we'll get into the QuickLines portion. Jump over there on Rumble 13, watching on the Rumble. Dan's over there. Hello. Anchorage over there. Amos Huckleberry. I like AI being used for good. It's also used to deceive people. Not being able to tell what's real anymore seems evil. We have a lot of material to contribute to the new season of Black Mirror. Yes, we do. Oh, Black Mirror. 9 currently watching on Odyssey, wherever an Odyssey is. All right, Elis World, greetings. Wave. All right. Kind of silly for Nextcloud Pi. When I click the tab under installation for the Raspberry Pi 3 or newer, but you got the GitHub page that says Pi 4 or newer. One could be the click tab, the other Debian. Yeah, I ran Nextcloud Pi on a 4 and it wasn't the best experience. I mean, it worked, but it wasn't the best experience. So I'm not sure I'd try using it on a 3. Also, sweet page, the site page is a lot of date. All right. Facebook privacy. That's what. What's that? Haven't heard of that. Yeah, but Morpheus is already here. Oh dear, Morpheus has arrived. All right. Says stream is healthy. Analytics. YouTube says 28 are currently watching, and I can't see. Okay, there's a little bit of graphs there. Okay. All right. Checking in on ZTubi comments. All right, XGUI for Stydia. I'll continue to name Meta as Facebook. Yep. Meta deserves to go away. So is Facebook. Good evening and welcome to tonight's weekly news roundup. There you go. Howdy y'all. Decided to give Manjaro KDE a spin last week and I learned why I don't like Plasma. I don't need 20 toggles to turn off sounds for notifications to system launch. I do wish Cinnamon had per application notification ability because I have to turn them off. I have to turn off notifications when I'm opening my tabs after adding the news profile to it because I'll get every single web page. Your highlights have imported. Thank you. They either did or didn't. So, you don't need to tell me every time. I can't go in and turn off just that application. So I have to keep notifications off unless I explicitly need them. So also don't need my fingerprint reader crashing my system to the point where it won't even let me log in with the password. GNOME for the most part just works. All right. If you like KDE Plasma, cool, but I personally think it's got too many settings and notifications for its own good. There you go. Hello, Night Light. Greetings. It looks like Louis Rossman is taking Samsung to court over failed warranty claim. I saw that. That is a beautiful. That was actually, that video was picked up by Tom's Hardware, I believe. So yeah. That'll be really funny. When they offered him a refund saying none are in stock when they're selling the same drives. Yeah, that was if you didn't watch that Louis Rossman case, it was pretty good. Rossman's not the only one that had this happen to. He's just the only big person with big enough gonads to be able to sue Samsung. Yep. Watching a video trying to figure out why Americans are buying Indian mangoes, or is it just a lie? No. Well, I mean, I don't know if we have mango trees around here, but yeah, Americans import more stuff than we should. When I bought something the other day, some food item that was like Mexico. It's like, oh, what was that? Okay. The funniest thing is when I went to a farmer's market. You've heard of the stories, right? That farmer's markets aren't really fresh farmer's food. Yeah, that's pretty much true. I went to this one farmer's market. Everyone's Mennonite there. I buy a pepper, take it back. There's a sticker, a product of Puerto Rico. It's like, tell me, how'd the Puerto Rican Amish get here with the peppers? All right. Video Germans coming to the U.S. for the World Cup and being gobsmacked by the things like Aircon, Buc-ee's, gas stations, Freddy's Steak and Burgers, and just general American life. Yeah, I know, right? It's kind of interesting. I mean, who would have think that you have a gas station the size of a Walmart, like they never knew such wonders existed. Culture shock for sure. Yep. Hello, Fresh Vintage. Greetings. All right. Howdy, everyone. Nearly forgot the time while reading a book. Well, I'm glad you made it. WF is evil. That's right. Not much tried Manjaro KDE this week. Gave myself a reminder why I don't like it. There you go. I see Bill Gates. Yes. Big brothers are watching Alien the Reptilian who like Linux. Is that rare? Yeah. Aliens are fallen angels. I would agree to that premise. Let's see. We need a photo of a mosquito up there. They are evil too. Hey, one of the best things Microsoft ever did, though, is utilizing the lasers from Xboxes to create a laser targeting system that zapped mosquitoes out of the sky. It was pretty cool. You can check it out. All right. Peekaboo. All right. Hello, K2610. Your number has been called. The mosquitoes, they are saying are male and infected to kill the other mosquitoes. Yeah. Who was it? Was it Microsoft or somebody was trying to release a whole bunch of mosquitoes, like modified mosquitoes? Like, no, do not release modified mosquitoes. Okay. Wear bug spray, folks. Wear bug spray. We did one YouTube short video for repairing a garden hose like 3 years ago, and we still get emails for hose and sprinkler system review opportunities. I thought the only female only female mosquitoes bite. That is correct. Free software, FOSS, open source. Zuckerberg is a reptilian. No, he's not. He's a robot. Do not call Zuckerberg a reptilian alien. I'm a reptilian alien. I know he is not one of us. Right? Try to get my family off Facebook Messenger for years with no luck. Told my friends to use it. Facebook is trash, but Facebook Marketplace is where the used hoopty cars live anymore. Same for me. You were arrested for wrong think. That's right. Tell them they can call me, send me a normal RCS text, email me, or see me in person. Term hacker wasn't always a negative term. In the scope of Mark Zuckerberg, I would argue that it probably was. Let's see. True, greed is evil. Right? Smart glasses, more like spy glasses. Yeah, yeah. I think the entirety of the smart glass world should just be banned. Hit that subscribe button, everybody. Thank you. The Wrong Think is from 1984, and the ID verification and other stuff too. Yes, we are. Apparently, we were still on YouTube. Yeah, I haven't gotten another notice yet, but hit a speed bump, but seems to have passed. All right. Everyone's saying it's fine there. So apparently YouTube was having some hiccups, but it was all YouTube. It wasn't me this time. There's a tiny 10. Let's see. We're on VM now. True. Y11 and not 10. Yeah, you know. Got everything working now. Not motivated enough to change. There you go. That's the way to do it, right? Oh, I don't think Meta's being racist. Meta's just being opportunistic. It just so happened that there was a potential for race riots, and so that's kind of when, you know, let's do it, man. Let's get ready to go. All right. YouTube is doing scam and NSFW ads problems as well. They push ads on YouTube? I didn't know that. I was thinking about running Endless OS on my old ThinkPad for offsite media. There you go. Linus Tech Tips channel said good things about Linux. What I hate are the advertising to use it for yourself and notebook CRM help desk. Yeah. Ooh, let's see if there's substantial evidence for court anymore. Yeah, it's hard to say. It really is hard to say. I was on the internet as kids, but it was fine. Yeah, the internet was a different world too. I try not to put my face online. When the consumer internet didn't, even back then. I have a name for that romantic stuff on chatbot. AI psychosis. Yes, indeed it is. Indeed it is. Is it just real life or is it just fantasy? Yeah. Well, they want a copyright claim. Sorry if you don't seem to be here. Try not to fall asleep. Hey, man, that's okay if you fall asleep. That's always cool. You always come back and catch you later. I'm hearing from astrophysicists that the sun is getting ready to emit a massive solar flare. If that happens, then it will wipe out all electronics, including data centers. No AI. Woohoo! Okay, I'll have to ask my my resident astronomers about that. CEOs need to have more taxes. Yeah, I mean, I'm on the fence on it because it's like, I don't want to tax people who inherently get successful. The problem is that when your product is causing serious societal harms, somebody needs to foot the bill for it, and it's not the people that just lost everything. It's got to be the people that are making money off of the thing. So, oh, hey, we've released this amazing thing. We've hoisted it upon the whole world. There it is. Oh, 50 million people just lost $50 million each. Sorry about that. Excuse me. I gotta go fishing off my yacht. You know, no, I think if your product is causing serious societal implications to the point where billions, millions and billions of dollars are being lost, I think your company needs to make good for that. And you guys can track down the people scamming your system. You know, we need to stop being like, well, your fault, you got scammed. No, scams are getting good these days. And if your scam is being empowered by these AI companies, the AI company needs to make that right. Honest, Tom, that glow behind you is really annoying when it changes colors and flickers badly. I was going to ask that because I noticed that, and it is kind of annoying when it does that. Let me see if I can just give it a mode that it's not going to change. I like the globe. I'm with you there on, like, right now it's just sitting there flickering and I can't even get it to not flicker. Which is weird because it'll not flicker during parts of it. It's just, for whatever reason, it's not, come on. It's like I can't get it bright enough on its own. There you go. Okay, we'll just leave it like that so it doesn't flicker. Yeah, I was going to ask about that because I did notice that, and it is annoying. Like, I like it when it shuffles. The problem is that it dims down, and when it's dimming down, it falls off of parity with the camera. So, all right, let's see. Do you trust Tiny 11? No. Because even if you strip out all the crazy nonsense, you're still running an operating system that's a proprietary code. But if you have to run it, it's better than running the whole thing, Tiny 11 is because a known bug in Windows 11 installer prevents installation from Microsoft too busy doing vibe coding. Yeah. There's one of those foundations Bill Gates funds that tried to release genetically. Yeah, it was Bill Gates. That's right. All the AI programmers, please stand up. There you go. 10 minutes. All right. Google releasing. Oh, is it Google releasing mosquitoes? I saw somebody recently was releasing mosquitoes. I'm like, no. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and pause there. We're going to go back to our QuickLines. Welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup and our QuickLines edition. It is a little bit shorter this week, I gotta say, but hopefully it should still be just as fun. Who knows? Let me know if you like the shorter version of it as well. We will see. So let's go ahead and jump on in. A researcher drops a new VS Code 0 day after losing trust in Microsoft's disclosure process. This is yet another one. And by the way, the Cyber Nightmare or whatever that guy's name is that released a whole bunch of them and Microsoft threatened. Yeah, he released another one too. I was just like, I didn't want to burden you too much with all these 0 days. But yeah, Microsoft is getting weird. And I started to think about what could happen there. What if Microsoft uses its money to fund politicians to completely make it illegal to do any form of disclosure without telling a company for 60 days, So basically they could force people to use some system, and they could even write it that they're not even responsible to pay for those bugs. So they could do that. And I could see Microsoft being that short-sighted where they might want to accomplish something like that. But I think they probably wouldn't do that, because what would end up happening, well, actually they might do it, but they shouldn't do it, because if they did that, what's going to happen is you're going to drive all the marketing into the dark web, and people will, if they realize that Microsoft is just completely abusing everybody forever, they're just going to turn to the one place that will pay them for it, and that is the bad faith acting hackers. And so Microsoft is treading some really dangerous ground here, and they need to get their head out of their rear end and figure it out. So effectively, if they don't clean up their program and have a reasonable, safe, and useful means of people coming in and actually finding the bugs, reporting them, getting paid, and getting their credit, which helps their career as a white hat hacker. If Microsoft continues to abuse them or utilizes their power to overrun that and force them to go through that, they're just going to get paid on the dark web. And they're going to release these things, not just neutral to the world, but specifically to the people who start paying the most. Microsoft is so short-sighted, they might try to pass laws to prevent this, but at the same time, if they do, it'll make things infinitely worse. What Microsoft needs to do is get its head out of its rear end, get the AI out of the reporting system, start giving credit to the people that find their bugs, and pay them. You do that, you're going to go a whole long way. Because I'll tell you what, there's one thing, if you listen to like the r/, and other Reddit reading posts, you learn this fundamental thing. You don't mess with the IT guy. Okay, you don't do it. And what Microsoft is risking doing is messing with every IT guy who can find the faults in their system. But another one came out. So security researcher Amar Askar found a new 0-day in Visual Studio Code, told a contact at GitHub about it, and published a working exploit 1 hour later. No 90-day window, no coordinated disclosure, no MSRC ticket. The researcher just dropped a POC on the internet because he'd been through MSRC process before and decided once was enough. Okay, so he said it's valid for every public and private repo the user can access. So any public or private repo you can access as a user, he can get into on any given user, just by simply doing something that's actually available in the GUI. It's kind of funny. So he was direct about why he skipped the responsible disclosure. Last time I interacted with MSRC regarding reporting a VS Code bug, it was a horrible experience where they silently fixed the bug I pointed out without any credit. They marked it as not having any security impact. I mentioned in my post, going forward, I would be doing full public disclosure for any security bugs I find in VS Code. Taking a look at the recent report by Star Labs on a VS Code XSS bug marked as ineligible and low severity, it doesn't look like MSRC has gotten any better about the VS Code bugs. And of course, they mentioned that, if you've been following the case with the other guy with Chaotic Eclipse, I think it was Chaotic Nightmare or Nightmare Eclipse, I think it was his own name. The comparison to Chaotic Eclipse writes itself. That researcher recently released 6 0 days without any advance notice, 3 of which were confirmed exploited in the wild before patches existed. Motivation involves a broken agreement and being left homeless, what he says. He apparently has receipts, so it'll be interesting to see if he brings forth such receipts. But threatening researchers with lawyers tends to not generate goodwill among the hacking community. Yeah. I mean, these people are doing a good deed for you. Don't piss them off. Especially when you're Microsoft and you're vibe coding your operating system now. All right, when the company receiving that work silently patches it, strips the credit, and marks it as low severity, the incentive to keep feeding that process collapses. So that's actually an update. Our main story here, I'm choosing not to be here because it was just had the funniest commentary. So we've been talking about AI data centers, and AI data centers do have serious problems. We need to slow down on the deployment. And hey, you need to keep these things cool. You need to keep these things around some water. Why don't we build them on Antarctica? There's not a lot of people down there to do crazy things. You're not going to interfere with the rest of society. We have the infrastructure to pass the data back and forth as quickly as we need. Why want to destroy farm fields? Of course, I did see and commented. I left a very nice comment on it. I did see a post on X this morning, and it was all these climate control people were all mad about the cows until they needed data centers, and I responded to it and I said, well, I mean, to be fair to them, once you put a data center in every former farm field in America, you really have seriously solved that cow problem. So there's always that. But you need to keep these things cold. Put them in Antarctica. No one else is there. You know what I mean? Minimal staff. You have them on month-long rotations, build an amazing bunker. I'd go down and babysit the machinery for a month at a time in Antarctica. That'd be a fun job. You wouldn't have to pay me a lot. It'd be cool. I'd enjoy it. So that's what y'all need to do. But as the data center debate has been gearing up, both right-leaning states and left-leaning states, people are mad. Like, this might join us together. We might have that meme from Predator. You know, you got the Arnold Schwarzenegger and his old friend there from the CIA. You know, locking hands. You know, right and the left might come together against data centers soon in the general public, because what we're seeing more often than not is the community is jumping out and being like, we do not want these data centers. We don't want them at all. And the city officials just going, we don't really care, you know? And so it's creating a lot of ill will in the various communities these are going in. Well, Governor Whitmer in Michigan got caught on a hot mic bragging to Oracle CEO about brushing off Michiganders' data center concerns. Oh, we're used to people saying F no, and we're doing it anyway. That's right. How wonderful. You people up there in Michigan, y'all better vote this creature out. Vote this creature out of politics entirely. This is the same person that told people you can't run your business during the koofy-koofs, but she could go do her stuff. And then her husband had the gonads, or lack thereof, to try and go out on the lake with his boat when there was actually an ordinance against it from Whitmer. And when somebody tried to stop him, like some officer tried to stop him, he says, "Don't interfere with me. I'm the governor's husband." Get this lady out of here, folks. She is a psycho. I don't know if we have audio on that or not. There should be audio. Maybe I just didn't test my audio up. Let me try this. If you guys can hear audio, I can't hear audio on that. For whatever reason, my audio system is not feeding back to me correctly. But apparently she actually says, we're used to people saying F no and doing it anyway. So, of course, this is Libs of TikTok, is a right-leaning person, so she says the Democrats don't care about you. I got news for you. This is happening in right-leaning states and in left-leaning states. In fact, I'd say it's probably happening more in right-leaning states than in left-leaning states, because they're driving for more business, and right-leaning tends to be more wrong on the data center and technology, and then do the Democrats. But yeah, the township board voted against the data center 4-1. Whitmer said, let him eat cake. That's right. And so that's not just Whitmer. That has happened in several red states as well. Just to point out, these people, these politicians, they're not caring about you. So, you know, whatever that happens to be worth. A Meta Instagram recovery flock exposed more than 20,000 accounts. Yeah, by the way, this was AI. So basically, if you had lost your account, because of course you did, because everyone does eventually, and there's no human you can get a hold of, you have to go through the AI system. Well, you could just go ahead and feed it some information and get a simple unlock code to anything you wanted. It was kind of neat. The fastest route to 1,000 Instagram accounts was not a stolen password. It was the recovery system designed to restore old accounts. That's right. And so effectively they had the attack chain enabled a successful password reset. Meta's disclosure suggested successful account takeovers were primarily linked to accounts without two-factor authentication. However, some people actually said Bleeping Computer noted that hackers bypassed Meta's face verification checks using an animated image of their target. Hey, where'd they get that from? Data centers. At the same time, another report claimed that a VPN was used to make it appear the hacker was from the same geographic location. So these hackers are going in here. They know everything about you because data centers, and they're basically spinning up a VPN, going to your general geographic area, utilizing a video they found on you online, and accessing your account. Of course, once they access the account, Meta says no information about which victim's data may have been stolen. The company says virtual all information stored within the user's account could have been accessed. So if anybody had their account taken over by this scam, you assume everything on that account, public and private, is compromised. And there's a reason to not put stuff on the internet. The incident is a reminder that account recovery is now part of the attack surface. Even when passwords and 2FA are in place, recovery workflows can become a weak door to the back of the house. That is right, folks. That is right. Yeah, wonderful uses of AI there. Apple says it may remove some apps from the App Store if they don't attract users. I look at this and go, oh, so a whole bunch of scammy people are going to game Apple's system with SEO, get these apps that hit the store and have massive explosions, crowd everything else out, and now the only option you have for any given service is the scammy app who timed the SEO system. Wonderful. I'm looking forward to that. Well, I'm not, because I wouldn't, use Apple on a regular day-to-day basis. All right. So the tech giant said it may begin removing apps in certain well-established categories if they're not updated, improved, or attracting customers. Updated, I get it. If you're not updating your app, fine. Improved? What do you mean by that? Improved! Adding age verification. Improved! Collecting more data. Improved! Adding a subscription model. Or attracting customers is the one I have the serious problem with, because this means, hey, remember all those scammy people did with SEO in Google? Yeah, that's about to happen at the App Store. I hope you enjoyed your App Store while you had it. So the App Store, this was actually a corporate rewriting of one line that was kind of funny, but it was in the App Store policy for a while. Quote, the App Store has had enough fart, burp, flashlight, fortune teller, dating, drinking games, and Kama Sutra apps, etc. already. We will reject these apps unless they provide a unique, high quality experience. The other thing this does, if you look at the charts and have a look at those organizational charts, how many news media outlets there were in the 1980s compared to now. 1980s are like 60 different companies. Now it's like 4. And this is a serious problem, because they're saying, hey, we're not just not going to let anybody add an app unless it brings a seriously unique or seriously high quality experience. And this means people starting out will not be able to start out. This is effectively an end to all new creations. Corporate has taken over. There can be nothing else now. That's a fundamental problem. Was Facebook amazing when it first came out? Of course not. I mean, it's not amazing now, I would argue, but it's at least featured and heavily used. But when we have this circumstance where you say, yeah, we're just not accepting anything else in this category, that's all we got. You have just consolidated things, broken up monopoly, and probably violated monopoly laws here, if I'm honest. But the problem is, the only people that would be affected are those people just trying to start out. And guess what? They're not going to be able to have the resources to sue Apple over it. So there you go. Apple is creating a closed ecosystem, which is completely destroying any future competition in any market. So they warn against opportunistically creating variants of existing app categories or popular apps. Obviously, if you have Angry Birds, don't make, Angry Chickens or something. But what they're saying here is an app has to be meaningfully different or improved. And those are both subjective terms. Who decides that? I think this app is meaningfully different. I think the app is meaningfully different and improved because it does not collect a bunch of data. Apple's like, well, we can't be having that. We need that sweet data. Okay. All right. So the company introduced personalized app recommendations. Oh, wonderful. Merchandising tools help developers grow their business and re-engaging existing users. That's right, folks. This is all about marketing. You have to be updating your app to make it annoy the hell out of everybody on your system. That's what they're doing. You have to be constantly updating it, constantly adding new features, constantly doing things. And then we're going, if you're not growing new people by utilizing our merchandising tools to help re-engage your existing users, that's the quickest way for me to get you to uninstall your app. In fact, there's one, I switched over to the Pixel 7 this week, and oh man, there's some things that are just so annoying. It's like, how do y'all use these? Even on Graphene OS, the new Android is annoying. I can't I won't be able to take 17. I mean, I'm on 16. I won't be able to take 17. I don't think so. I'll be going back to the Stone Age. Right? But all that being said, it's like I get an app. It's like, oh, you got to have this. Oh, you got to. What is it? VLC. I mean, it's something about VLC. It's like it needs permissions for storage. You go to the permissions and there's nothing for storage. I had to mess with the thing like 16 different times. And then there's another app that's like, I don't want notifications, like a stock tracker app. I don't want the notifications. Every time you open it up, it's, oh, we need notifications. Send you notifications. I don't want notifications. Leave me the hell alone. And that's what all this is about. Re-engage your existing users. Hey, you haven't turned on notifications. Because you got to re-engage your new users. I mean, otherwise you have no way of assessing if your app is actually growing. They're going to remove low-quality apps. Removing low-quality apps helps the App Store reduce clutter. That is true. Makes it easier for developers who are putting effort into having their apps discovered. Well, not really. Not apparently. If you're trying to get an app into some category that has a lot, I don't think you're going to do that. So, anyway. PC shipments have plunged in early 2026. I wonder why. Let's see. Gas is massively expensive now. Computers are massively expensive now. Of course, those that do need to get a new PC because their Windows 10 is dying very soon here. Oh, dear. We're going to have some serious problems. But, oh, yeah, PC shipments plunged early 2026. This mostly has to do with the AI marketing, the data centers, and the increase in costs. PC shipments have been down this year. It looks like the market drop will come even more in the coming months. People don't have money anymore for your overpriced garbage computers. Ongoing memory shortage is the biggest factor affecting PC shipments, according to IDC. Though the market is complex, RAM shortages have driven up PC prices, such as flagship services, now $500 more. Was it we covered last week or 2 weeks ago? The Steam Deck is up almost 50%, and they sold out in one day. That's insane. Larger brands are somewhat insulated from the effects. Apple having a stockpile of components, but even tech giants will feel the squeeze eventually. The shortage has forced PC makers to offer or release options. By the way, do you know Microsoft is sitting on entire warehouses worth of RAM? They did not need to raise their service price $500. They just chose to because everyone else is raising their prices. We got a stockpile of RAM back there, They did talk about the MacBook Neo. They released this, and they talk about how other computers are going to do this. We're going to start seeing computers coming out with smaller amounts of RAM now, just so you can get something that functions. And frankly, I'm okay with that. Not everybody needs 35 gigs of RAM. Well, 32 gigs of RAM in your system. The average user who's just getting online, watching a few things, doing email and writing documents, they can still get away with 8 gigs of RAM, I bet. Not when the AI is taking over things. Just switch to Linux, so you'll be good on 2 or 4 gigs, So I don't know what the problem is, but whatever that is. This is fun. Free Spotify Premium hacks on social media are spreading info stealers. And I had some things to say. So, we've already seen attackers move away from traditional phishing emails and towards tactics that trick people to installing the malware themselves. This is the one that basically you go to the site and it tells you, what you need to do. You just need to hit your Windows R button and hit Control V and hit Enter. You're basically opening up the shell script and installing something. And so these things are promising Spotify Premium, free Windows activation, or free Microsoft Office, instead leaving people with info stealers on their Windows devices. Okay, so, here's the obvious commentary on a channel called Switch Linux. If you're using Linux, you will not have an info stealer on your Linux device because this is designed for Windows. Secondly, you will not need a Windows activation key or an Office activation key. If you're on Linux, just use LibreOffice. If you need those cloud components, use something else, but there's many other open source things. You won't need to activate your Linux. You won't need to activate your Microsoft Office because you don't have it installed because LibreOffice is far superior. Come on. You get that. And as far as the Spotify Premium, well, if you're already willing to steal Spotify Premium, you may as well go sailing on the high seas and just install Jellyfin instead. Just saying. Not that I would advocate for such a thing, but, and I don't, by the way. I am not a fan of piracy. But if the companies make it to the point where you have no other choice, I'm not going to fault you for it either, okay? We'll put it that way. So the videos on these, they're basically doing, here's how it works. They're doing accounts with names like Windows Tips, Windows Insights, Windows style branding, post polished tutorial videos that resemble genuine tech support content. They promise to unlock Spotify Premium, Microsoft Office, or Windows for free. And of course, it basically is doing the click fix scams. Malware is identified as VIDAR and info stealing to steal sensitive information from infected devices. Saved browser passwords, so be careful of that. Autofill data, that would be your addresses and credit cards. Browser cookies, cryptocurrency wallets, any two-factor authentication, and this was a new one, Tor browser data. Obviously, this is going to impact it if you're in Tor browser and doing that. I'm going to guess the cross-section of people who are going to do random things like this and are using Tor is probably a fairly small overlap in the Venn diagram, but I guess it's still possible. Be careful out there, folks. The most AI-pilled firms are spending up to $7,500 per employee each month on AI. This is about half as much as you would pay for a full engineer, but probably about 2 to 3 times as much as you'd pay for a modern, a modern day low-level grunt. So, companies are spending a lot. Now, this is nowhere close to average. This is a serious anomaly, but it was definitely an interesting article nonetheless. And NVIDIA executive recently said the cost of compute is now greater than the salaries of his employees. That's right. Companies actually spending more on AI than humans? It depends. Top 1% of firms, which Ramp described as AI pill, they're spending $7,500 per month. Whether you think that's a lot or little depends on your perspective, but certainly not more than the roughly $16,000 per month that the average software engineer makes. But are you doing this? And hey, can you replace a few of your software engineers to do this? Pay them half as much as a whole software engineer? Kind of goes both ways. These are just the power users. Top 10% only spend about $611 monthly per employee. The median is only $11.38. So that means there is a massive spread in how much people are using. Probably a lot of those are zero. A lot of those, if the median is $11.38, but the 10% average is $611. There's a lot of spread in here. Although we don't know what's the top 10%. The top 10% monthly is an average. The median, is that the median of everybody or the median of just the top 10%? I would guess that's the median of everybody. So you have to look at how the statistics are done in here to really make any real usable sense of this data. The top 1% of firms tend to mix and match, opting to bounce between multiple frontier models, and platforms give them access to cheaper open source models. Okay. And cheaper open source models are definitely a way to go. You can spin up a llama on your laptop and run local models. I mean, I do that for clients. So, all right. Of course, though, the AI spending is going to keep going here because fresh off bond sale, Amazon borrows $17.5 billion from banks to continue spending AI. The bubble is getting bigger, folks. This is going to pop. So $17 billion just to do AI stuff. Now, they haven't said exactly what they're doing. This is not like a one-time loan they're getting the giant cash. This operates more like a HELOC type loan. So it's a delayed draw term loan. That means that they basically have a credit limit and they can borrow against it and pay back into it as they need to. And usually it lasts for a certain period of time and a certain interest rate. That way, if Amazon basically now they just have $17.5 billion sitting there, they can tap if they need to, but they don't pay any interest on it until they actually draw from it, and they only pay interest on what is drawn through at the time of the interest compilation. So there's a little bit there they're doing. It's not clear exactly how they plan to spend it, but they said it will be used for, quote, general corporate purposes is kind of what they're saying. All right, so that is what they're talking about there. So other companies though are borrowing money to spend massive AI buildouts. About a week ago, Google said that plans to raise $80 billion through stock sale to help investments in a balanced way while retaining a healthy balance sheet. Meta also announces plans to raise $30 billion in bond sale as well. So all these companies are spending for AI purposes, which is a frightening prospect. All right. Well, that is our quick lines. Of course, we do have a couple of SillyVille articles, and we're getting silly, folks. We're getting silly. All right. So first up, Apple's new health app can now tell you if you are premenopausal. I bet your husband can tell you that too, but that's another word. All right. So anyway, yeah, now the health app is collecting and utilizing so much data that it can now send you a pop-up notification if the app thinks you may be perimenopausal. Excuse me. I said perimenopausal. So Apple is getting on the hottest new trend in women's health, perimenopause. The company announced on Monday it's adding a perimenopause and menopause support to its existing cycle tracking feature. It has been pushing deeper into women's health since 2019 when it added a cycle tracker to the Apple Watch. The tracker lets women log key information about their menstrual cycle and fertility through the app. According to research published in the journal Menopause, an estimated 1.1 billion women worldwide are postmenopausal as of last year, and digital health tools target that trending demographic have attracted significant investment in recent years. Like, I'm still punting. I mean, clearly I'm not a woman. Clearly I'm not going through menopause. How is it useful if your phone tells you this? Hey, you're going through this. I would figure the changes in your body would probably told you about this. I mean, am I crazy or what's the situation here? I don't know. According to Apple's Stacey Ford, Vice President of OS Product Management, women can be able to receive notifications when their cycle patterns are suggestive of perimenopause. So that's all you need. You're sitting there in a meeting, your phone beeps, you look at your notification, and the thing says you're perimenopausal. Why? This is nothing more than collecting your health data for crazy, weird, backdoor, nefarious purposes. I don't know. I don't know what else to think about this. And, of course, our final story here. Watch this robot drop kick a kid to the chest. That's right. And I hear... let's go ahead and play this. I'm gonna mute this. I'm going to mute it here. Like I said, my audio's not exactly working on this end, but... you see the robots over here dancing. It's just doing the cool martial arts things and whack! I hear that kid's name is John Connor, by the way, but you know. So there you go. This Kung Fu robot's going to take you out. Now, of course, you notice here, nobody's doing anything. All right, good. Let's get the kid out of here. None of these kids are like laughing about this. How'd you like to get kicked in the nards by this robot, man? I mean, really. So the robot revolution is coming. He found his target. That kid's name was John Connor, of course. An attraction to the child was not seriously hurt, but mom complained the staff was too slow to react. Yeah, I didn't see anybody reacting. Of course, I would have activated father mode and Hulk smash that robot and maybe let the kid go in and take a kick at it too, you know. The kid's name happened to be John Connor, of course. Is that Sean O'Malley? There you go. So there you go. The robots are now drop kicking young children, and the beginning of the robot revolution is upon us, folks. Let me know your thoughts about all those in the comments down below. All right. So yeah, the child did get close. Did he really get that close? Hold on. It didn't look like he was getting that close. Okay. So let me go ahead and go play it again. Let's see how close he got. And he's in a little bit, but I don't know. I'm still on Team Kid side here because kids do not need to be kicked in the stomach by robots. All right, burn the robot with fire. It assaulted a child. Get rid of that thing. Burn it to the ground. All right. Let's see. Not use a stripped down version of Windows. There's a huge risk of it breaking with an update and whoever did it putting something else in the background that should not be there. Yeah, I guess if you seriously trust the people making your tiny cores. All right. Zoho is a lot less trustworthy. now in regards to privacy, so I'm breaking away. Like Windows 11 LTSC, I've had it on the gaming PC. Microsoft is a devil. Who agrees with me? Yeah, I'll meet you there. Sure. I've not needed to run Windows for gaming since 2015 when I dumped Windows 10. Yeah, that's an insult to the devil. Yeah, okay. What's worse than proprietary code is privacy respecting proprietary code. There's a real red flag, how I see it. Yeah, I agree with that. There's far too many games that just work on Linux so I could ever have time or energy to play. Yeah, was Zoho the one that somebody came out suggesting it wasn't private? I didn't hear any follow-ups on that. I don't remember. Not enough of emulators I can run on Linux, Android tablet. Yep. Having a ball playing Neo Geo games on my tablet with Bluetooth mini arcade. All right. Apparently it is Bill Gates that put the mosquitoes and not Google. I'm not sure. So the two gray hacker against Microsoft, good. Well, they were white until they came too close to the black soul of Microsoft, then they became gray. They cannot build data center in Antarctica because of an international treaty. They do not own the land that could lead to war. So we're already at war with the world. What makes another one? We're building a data center. Deal with it. Maybe, okay, let's keep it a little closer. We'll build it in northern Canada and give the Canadian government a little bit more kickbacks or something. There, how's that? We can build a lot of data centers up in Alaska. How's that? Neo Baby Father's CEO. Oracle, that guy is also the devil? Okay. Use global warming as an excuse for not putting in data centers in Antarctica. I can hear the audio fine. Let's see. Heard sound, but did not have any clue what it said. Oh yeah, I think my current setup, the audio sound's not going back into my headphones here, like it should be. I need to work on that. So I think you guys could hear it, but I couldn't. I wonder if I just need to push one of my buttons down here. I don't know. I'll have to test with it after the stream. Yeah, craziness is really screwing up everything. There's no intelligence, but there's a huge database. Yeah. Centrists and hate the AI. I want society as a whole go back to the center and common sense once again. Yep. Okay. Crap a lot again. No one be like removing X11 is improving. Wayland is regression. Yeah. Cell phones are quickly becoming unusable. Yeah. Apple also require people to have a Mac to do Crapple dev, so my apps do not officially support Crapple. Yeah. All right. Use Lenovo ThinkPad, IdeaPad, ThinkPad, Tiny. Anyway, if you can't afford to build a desktop, then run Linux on it. Yep. Even Lenovo, IdeaTab, Android tablet is a decent option. Orange Pi 5 Plus mainline kernel does not work with the X11. Sad. Yeah, we're going back to a time that isn't there. I did forget to feed the kitty, didn't I? That's okay. We'll just keep doing comments. We'll feed the kitty at the end. Knowing STEM like laptops with soldered RAM. Yeah. Okay. Soldered RAM are garbage. It should not be legal. Yeah, it's planned obsolescence. Single board PC, PGC beat. Yeah, single board stuff is fine. Tablet is fine. But yeah, if you get a laptop, it should not have soldered RAM in it. When will the AI bubble burst? I cannot wait for it to burst. I hate that bubble. I don't know. I would wager probably around I I don't know, another year or two, maybe less. It's hard to say. Yeah, it's our economy will be stabilized a whole lot, and that's, I don't know. We're in weird times. I'm not sure anybody can deeply predict it all. Oh my lord, YouTube, you suck. Your comments system does weird shoots. All right, for me, Waycraft is too unstable for NVIDIA. Yeah. Was the Apple Watch app? Was that the... I got... It was like the health stuff, so it's integrated into the phone, too. Kid that did get too close to the robots. Cyclones are coming. All right. Why do I have blue hair? It looks like a Karen. The robot is a Harvard... Robot is a Harvard recruiter. No more Chinese kids. Oh dear. Like China, where parents usually have one kid. They lifted the one child limit not too long ago, but yeah, that's definitely China. You have to enable resizable bar on the BIOS, lock PCI speed to the max BIOS. All right. Not sure what that was in reference to. I think there's conversation going on that I'm not privy to here. Bears can protect the data servers in Alaska. No, they can't. There's no bears in Alaska. The bears are in the North Pole, and the penguins are in the South Pole. But you will have the penguins in Madagascar down there. And I don't know, that might be a bad thing. It's like, hey, something's going on with the data centers. Go down there, check it over. Bunch of penguins took it over. Data center in northern portion, Northwest Territories. Oh boy. For the lib-loos, but not at that point in making our lives worse. Bottomless pit where the beast will come out is located in Antarctica. The ice is melting. Oh boy. Still think we're in the last days or approaching. I think so. Yeah. Administration tuned out so that to do so much they claim they wouldn't. Yeah. Well, yeah, I do agree. It's we're getting near the end times. That's for sure. See, Apple apparently taking a page out of the System D handbook. All right. Okay. Go over there on Rumble. Prefer the internet before the conglomerates took over. Websites used to matter. Absolutely. Yeah. For sure. All right. There's the kitty cam. Let's get the beast fed here. The beast has been fed. All right, let's check this out. Let's see. Happy cat. Yep. She's like, there was food. Where's the rest of my food? I want more food. I'm going to try Sonic DE at some point. And is the Code Red sequel in the works? Yeah, so I have, I think I have 5 more short stories for the short story books. So we will get 2 out when I get a few more stories written. And Sonic DE. I have not seen Sonic DE. Let's have a brief look at Sonic DE. Community-driven Sonic desktop environment aims to preserve and improve the X11 specs. Specific aspects of KDE currently consists of customized KWin X11. Okay. I have not seen that. I will have a look at it, see what I can do. All right. I think we've got to the bottom of the comments everywhere. You get a walking stick for the kitty. Yeah, I might. You have just one now. Yeah, I just have one, and yes, I am in PA again. Down here in the good old PA. All right. We will catch you guys later. Have yourselves a wonderful week and a wonderful weekend. And I hope you enjoy switching to Linux.